Want to keep up with the latest Camodo gaming videos? Be sure to subscribe and click that bell.
Hello YouTube, Camodo Gaming here, bringing you guys another episode of Tiny Town VR, and yes folks, we're back once again, and today we're back with a brand new build. Now first, before we get to this build, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for all love and support on this series. You guys have been really amazing with the Tiny Town stuff, and you guys have been amazing with the suggestions. So I'm pleased to announce, after going over several videos, one name keeps popping up for the city, and that is Disasterville. So if you guys like that name, I'm going to run a poll in the top right corner, and if it goes positive, we're going to actually use Disasterville as the name. Now, if you have any other suggestions, we could still change it, but I'm actually really liking that. So, if you missed from the last episode, we actually had a UFO invasion. The aliens are looking for it, and it was actually really incredible to go into the comment section and read the backstory you guys came up with for the aliens. We know they're searching for something. It might be some sort of technology, or there's a reason they've come to Disasterville here. And you can see they pushed all the water out. They actually are trying to search the sea floor. It actually caused a tsunami here, which looks pretty epic. By the way, if you missed that episode, I'll flash it in the top right corner too. But today we're going to be moving on to something else. So I had a really popular episode with Siren Head. Now, many of you know Siren Head was created by Trevor Henderson, and that creator actually has several other creations, and I had a really highly suggested comment for a new creature. So I think it would go right about here. We're going to build a tunnel, maybe a little bit of a bridge, and we're going to be building a custom bridge worm here today in Tiny Town. Now, I do want to go ahead and state one thing. My creations, the ones that are based off Trevor Henderson's stuff, they're not going to be exactly like his, because I like to upscale everything and make it really giant. So if you're looking for something that's the correct size, it's probably not going to be that. It's going to be a little bit bigger, that way it kind of looks exaggerated here in the city. So anyways, we're going to be doing that here today. I'm still reading those comments. If you guys have any suggestions for future episode ideas, new builds, new disasters, let me know down there. And while you're down there, maybe hit that thumbs up button, and let's start the build. Okay, so I have a bit of an idea. So I picture there being like a big bridge, like almost like a main highway that stretches across here. And maybe it goes out into an actual bridge over the water. And we could have an island or something over on the other side of the ocean there. So maybe it leads out that way. But in this bridge, right in this road here, there's going to be a tunnel. And you'll have the bridge over it. And the tunnel's going to lead to somewhere. I haven't decided where that's going yet. But that's where our bridge worm creature's going to be. Okay, so I already know like the perfect thing here. So we need to go to railroad. And I know I've got a tunnel here. Where is it? Aha, okay, so we've got, that's a tunnel, but it's got a railroad track. I want to use this, so I've got an idea. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to modify this. Let's make the tunnel to where it would fit the road, which, by the way, I'm having a hard time grabbing this. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's go make sure snapping is off. We're going to create a bit of an illusion here. And we're going to run this off like this. So, yeah, you'll have the road running back there, which this is still really finicky. And I want to get this as close as possible. Let's shrink it a little bit. There we go. And I'm thinking something like that actually works. So the bridge worm will be coming out of this, and we'll put a actual bridge of some sort. You know, it might actually be like a cliff. I don't know. I'll have to check and see if we have any good bridge pieces. We've got a couple, but I'm not sure if any of these are going to fit. Like, we could do this one. So, we would have to do a normal-sized road. And maybe we'll do, like, a mountain. So, if I planted this right here in the middle, that kind of looks natural. And then we'll put this on each side. So, we'll have this big bridge running up. And what I can do now, let me add a grass area, and we'll add those hills I was talking about. And we'll make the scenery look right before we do the bridge worm. Alright, so this is coming together quite nice, actually. So, you got the bridge. I need to move these mountains a little bit to make sure it looks like the bridge supports are actually, like, supporting something. So, something like that. So, yeah, you've got that. You've got this grass area here. Let me go ahead and correct this one over here. Alright, I'm liking this. And then we'll build up more mountains behind this. And maybe make it like another section of the city. A lot of people said the Siren Head should have come from a forest. So in theory, we could do like a forest and stuff back here. Or maybe do some other stuff. But here comes the challenging thing. So I want to do Bridge Worm. And it's going to be Bridge Worm when he's opened up. I'll flash a picture up on the screen right now. So yeah, it's got like the false face, and then once it attacks its prey, it opens up, and it's got a pretty creepy looking head under there. So do keep in mind, I'm dealing with some pretty primitive shapes, so it's not going to look perfect, but I'm going to try my best to get this done. Alright, so this obviously makes sense for the body of Bridgeworm. So, like I said, it's going to be a big Bridgeworm. Hold on, let's go ahead and extend this, actually get this shaped right. There we go, so it's going to be coming out like that. I like how you cannot actually snap or get a new piece from the rear, you have to get it from the side, so I'll have to match these up real quick. So there we go, we got something like that, almost perfect. There we go. So Bridgeworm's coming out of this tunnel, and I've got to figure out how to do this, because it's got an opening flap, and I'm not really sure I can do this flap, but I really want to. So I got a bit of an idea. So I need to figure out how to create the flap itself, but the head, or the start of the head, is kind of buried in here. So you'll have it right here. Hold on, make sure this is stuck in there pretty even. Doesn't look awkward. Oh, it still looks a little awkward. Probably need to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So we'll go something like that. And then what I'm going to do, hold on, let me find it. We're going to create an end and stick it on like this. So it needs to be a little bit bigger. So you've got this. So this is the base of the head. As soon as I make this match up, it might need to be a little bit bigger. There we go. So you've got that. We're going to put eyeballs on it. I don't know why the Bridgeworm seems to be a little like crazy-eyed, because they go off like in really opposite directions. So what I'm thinking, let's go ahead, which by the way, this isn't going to be quite as intense as Siren Head as far as the building process, but I'm thinking we go eyeballs like this, and then we'll grab another one. They might need to be a little bit bigger. I'll have to look at another reference photo. Let's get rid of that one and go back to this one. So we'll do something like this. And then, of course, you've got the actual pupils, which those are kind of going off in different directions. There we go. So that's a start. That's definitely not a finished product, but yeah, we're working with it right now. All right, so we're gonna get a little progress update. By the way, he looks really surprised right now. He doesn't really look mean. So I actually made the eyes a little bit bigger. He's got a nose. Well, I mean a lack of a nose. There's kind of an opening here, so I need to work on that. And then you've got his mouth. So the mouth seems to come out a bit. Same with the teeth. So, yeah, they're all pointed and they're kind of outward aiming. And also, I need to figure out how to do the flap. That's going to be something, too. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done here. Alright, so we're still working here. So I've started on a flap and I'm not happy with it. What I'm going to do with it, I looked at a couple more pictures. The flap folds further back, and then under it, you can still see like a red kind of fleshy texture. So I'm going to do that. Now, as far as the face, we're getting there. I'm still making small modifications every time I like look at a different angle. But I'm going to tell you guys, it's not simply just like a ball and then you have like the eyes and stuff like that. I've actually done some shaping in here. I'm using these hoops to kind of form like parts of the mouth. You've got the teeth, you've got the black, I guess, hole for the mouth, which I don't know. Like, I'm assuming he eats you, but I don't even want to think about how all that works on his insides. So yeah, you've got that. I actually changed where the nose should be, or the hole is. I kind of changed that part to make it look a little bit better. So, essentially, I think if I do this, which by the way, I added a couple little eyeballs back here. Let me go ahead and flap this way, because it is really, really open in the pictures. And I'm going to leave like a little indentation in here. That way I can add the red rings. You want the rings white on the back side, because that's what the Bridgeworm disguises itself as, like some sort of big white worm. Which, by the way, if I saw a worm that big in a tunnel, even if it wasn't in like full crazy attack mode, I'd probably be like, nope, I'm out. Okay, so what I really need to do, I need to grab red rings. Oh, here they are. So another thing about Bridgeworm, a lot of the red flesh looks like it's got like veins, and actually it kind of is really a bunch of different colors. Now, I'm not going to be able to replicate that, but I'm going to try my best to maybe try to stick some sort of veins in there or something. Let's make this go even further back real quick. So try to shape this. It's looking a little bit better. I think maybe less of the flap should be exposed here. Let's go ahead and move these in here. Oh boy, I feel like I'm like sculpting or crafting right now, trying to get this thing to look right. Or at least as good as I can make it look with the pieces provided. So I'm going to take a small break from him, and we need to add a little bit of scenery. So I want to say maybe Bridgeworm was already on a rampage. Say that tunnel or the bridge tunnel and all that was filled with like cars, and he was pushing all that through. So I picture there being a lot of debris around him, and say maybe some of the military or even the grandmas were aware that he was coming. So they actually have set up like some sort of checkpoint outside, and they're ready to battle the Bridgeworm as it comes out of the tunnel. So basically what I want to do here before we really go back to work on the worm itself, let's go ahead and add some destroyed like cars and stuff. Like it's just pushing all of this out. So plus it'll give you a little bit of a better idea as far as the scale. So yeah, it's like pushing these cars. Do we have any other wrecked cars? I could swear we do. It's a lot of trucks. You know what? Maybe some of the military actually tried to intercept the Bridgeworm. So yeah, it's just like grinding up against the tunnel, getting pushed out. Oh, this is going to look amazing. Alright, so I'm adding a little bit of action around the Bridgeworm, so you can see that now you have cars flying through the air, which by the way, that tooth is poked out a little odd. There we go. So yeah, you've got cars flying through the air. People are trying their best to get out of this tunnel. Cars that have actually crashed and been flung out, you got people climbing out of them. We can go over here, you can see there's people under the Bridgeworm. This guy might barely escape out of his truck. I don't know, maybe he's not going to. And you got more cars over here. So, also the Bridgeworm is, I guess, chomping away. So, looks like he caught a couple people there. We could even put a car in his mouth, but I think that might be a little bit too big looking. So, you've got that. It's scooting out. We need to have, like, a checkpoint. I think we're going to have the normal army here. So, yeah, they were ready for Bridgeworm. Well, I don't think they were ready for Bridgeworm as far as, like, they're probably going to lose. But the military was already responding. They're actually setting up a checkpoint. Unfortunately, they couldn't get here in time to save all the people that were in the tunnel, but they're doing their best. Also, I want to say about the time this is happening, this is when Siren Head probably came out of the forest and crossed the bridge, and actually he's over here. So they're like waiting on Bridgeworm, and all of a sudden they see Siren Head, and they're like, well, this isn't good. Alright, let's get down here into the action. So you can see troops unloading from the trucks here. You've got quite a few that have gathered here. And I bet you most of them, they're just shocked. They're like, what is going on? Except for this guy. He's probably the smartest of the group. He's booking out of here because he sees that coming out of the tunnel. You've got like a little commander over here. He's pretty much in shock. You got more tanks. You got like tank commanders. This guy up here, he's just kind of pointing out going, I think we're going to need a bigger tank. Maybe potentially a nuke. And yeah, I would say this area is probably about 1 or 2 seconds from getting wiped. Which, by the way, that would actually break open the SCP facility a little bit and probably free some of those. Huh. You know what? I'm kind of noticing a general theme. Look where all these creatures are aimed towards. You don't think they're going to go fight with the aliens, do you? I mean, of course, they're going to eat some people on the way over there, but still. Alright, so I feel like I should go back into trying to make this worm look better, so I'm going to go ahead and work on this a bit more. At some point, I'm going to have to pretty much just settle for what I've got, but I'm not quite to that point yet. Alright, so this wouldn't be a Tiny Town episode if we didn't have Oblivious Grandma, and you're probably asking, what's she doing here today? Well, you know what, she's outside getting a little bit of fresh air, but she's definitely social distancing, and she probably has already just washed her hands 20 times. Alright, so we'll grab this. Wait, do I have like a bottle of sanitizer or something? You know what? We're going to say this is a bottle of hand sanitizer. Remember, wash your hands, folks. It's probably the right thing to do. But yeah, she's practicing that. But you know what? I think she actually isn't completely oblivious to the situation, but she doesn't care. She's just going to walk away. She's like, I don't need this right now. You know what I'm actually really excited for is the area behind this, because I'm getting ideas. I mean, obviously you see where the hills are going. The hills might expand across, and maybe more of the big city will be over here. But back here, we can do some pretty cool stuff. So I'm liking that. Alright, so another thing I want to experiment with Bridgeworm on. I want to try to make it look like, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Hold on, can I use, wait a minute. Can I make Bridgeworm look a little gross if I did something like this? I'm trying to give him, and I know it's kind of hard to explain, I'm trying to give him veins and just overall make him look a little bit grosser. And I'm struggling to do that because of the pieces that I have. So, real quick, let me go. I could do something like maybe these. So that would be like a vein, except for a lot smaller. But I think that would look really, really odd. I almost want to use this creature. It's got certain aspects to it. So we could have like little veins popping out. I don't know if this looks good though. I don't know. We have to have a little bit different color for the flesh in order to make it look like it's just kind of really gross looking, kind of the way Bridgeworm looks. And I'm thinking if I maybe add just a couple of these, I might be able to get this to look right. Let me experiment with this real quick. Okay, so I might have found an effect that works. So this monster, which by the way, we've used this before. It's on over there. You can kind of see it. It's got some really cool looking ends to it, and they kind of look like these weird looking veins. So I'm trying to poke some of these out to try to give this character a little bit more substance. That way it just looks a little bit better to me. This now might be officially the grossest thing that we've done in Tiny Town. It just doesn't look right. Like, it's gross. But, you know what? You guys wanted to see it, so I'm trying to deliver on that right now. Yeah, that's nasty. Oh dear. Alright, so I need to work on one more thing. The flap is still bothering me, this whole top shape of it. So let me try to correct that, and then maybe we'll be good here. There we go. Alright, so I think I've got the rings in a little bit better spot now. You know what? I'm fairly happy with this. If you guys have any suggestions for this, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and sink the pupils in a little bit. Let's make this one go the other way. Yep, that's that's fairly crazy looking. Hold on, let's move this one down a little bit. Trying to get that eye position to where I'm 100% happy. Alright, you know what? It actually doesn't look bad. It actually kind of looks like the skin's folding back and rolls. You got like the little flap there. You got the monster underneath. The big teeth, the crazy eyes. You got the military battling. We've actually kind of set ourselves up for some pretty cool stuff here with the bridge and potentially other things. But yeah, let's go and look at this scene from back here. I'm liking this because it makes this whole street look busy now. Because look at this. You got the monsters, you got the Star Wars attack happening, the ghost coming up, Siren Head, the SCP facility, and the Bridgeworm is at the end of the street. Oh, this is crazy. Alright, well anyways, I think it's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you guys for all the love and support on the Tiny Town series. You guys are amazing, and we'll see you guys next time on Tiny Town.